The Su-75 might look impressive on paper, but it can't touch the real deal. Let's talk about why. It was recently unveiled in all its glory, or what Russia is calling its fifth-generation fighter jet. But let's be honest, the jury is still out on whether this aircraft can truly compete with the best that the United States has to offer. And if you ask me, the answer is an absolute no. You see, the U.S. has already moved past fifth-generation technology with its next-generation air dominance program, which aims to field a new family of systems by the 2030s. These will include manned and unmanned platforms that leverage artificial intelligence, advanced propulsion systems, incredible data links, and a whole host of other capabilities that make the F-35 look like a flying toaster. In contrast, Russia's entry is not even close to being ready for prime time. Despite being unveiled to much fanfare, the Su-75 is still stuck in a prototype phase with funding and construction delays pushing back its debut to at least 2028. Even then, it's not clear if this aircraft will actually be able to perform all of the functions that it's designed to do. And let's not forget that China is also working hard to develop its own next-generation fighters. But despite their progress, the PLA Air Force is still years behind the cutting edge of American technology. So why are we even talking about this Russian aircraft? Well, because it's important to understand where the U.S. stands in comparison to other countries around the world. And in this case, the answer is very far ahead. At first glance, the Su-75 looks pretty impressive. It's a single-seat, single-engine stealth fighter with low observability, long-range capabilities, and a high degree of maneuverability. It's also got some advanced electronic warfare features that could give it an edge in a fight against fourth-generation aircraft. But when you start to dig deeper, you realize that this plane is not all that it's cracked up to be. For starters, its stealth capabilities are likely inferior to those of the F-35 and F-22, both of which have been in service for over a decade. In fact, the Su-75 is not designed to be stealthy in the same way that these aircraft are. Instead, it uses a combination of radar-absorbing materials and other measures to reduce its radar cross-section, or RCS. This makes it harder to detect, but it's nowhere near as effective as true stealth technology. Another issue is that the Su-75 is only a fifth-generation aircraft in the most basic sense of the term. It does not have many of the advanced features that are associated with this designation. For example, it does not have built-in weapons, which means that it will need to carry missiles and bombs on external hardpoints. This reduces its stealth even further and makes it more vulnerable to air defenses. Perhaps the most telling sign of how far behind the Su-75 is the fact that it doesn't even have an integrated sensor platform. This is a collection of sensors and electronics that work together to provide the pilot with a complete picture of the battle space. In contrast, the F-35's integrated sensor platform is a key part of its overall capabilities. It allows the aircraft to collect, process, and share information in ways that are simply not possible with older designs. Of course, Russia is not the only country that is working on fifth-generation technology. China is also making significant progress in this area. However, the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force still relies heavily on fourth-generation fighters such as the J-11 and J-10. As a result, the Su-75 is unlikely to find many buyers outside of Russia, and that is by design. Russia sees the Su-75 as a way to make money by exporting a cheap but effective stealth fighter. The price tag is estimated to be around $30 million, which is a fraction of the cost of the F-35. However, this low price comes with significant trade-offs in terms of performance and capabilities. As for the United States, it has already moved on from fifth-generation technology. The NGAD program is developing a new family of systems that will dominate the skies well into the 21st century. These aircraft will feature AI-assisted piloting, drone wingmen, adaptive engines, advanced stealth, and potentially even directed energy weapons. In short, the NGAD is not just a fighter jet, it's a system of systems. It represents the future of air warfare, and it's something that Russia is simply not a part of. Now here's the thing. While Russia might think they're being clever by trying to sell a subpar product, the world is not stupid. Countries that are in the market for new fighters have the money to get the best. And the best is not the Su-75, it's the F-35. So don't waste your time or money trying to compete with something that is leagues ahead of you. Instead, focus on what you do best, which apparently for Russia is building helicopters and landing gear. That's a real strategy.